Hey, everybody out there. So good to see you guys again. Well, actually, you're seeing me. It's so good to be back here online. I just had a couple of days off doing some other things, but I'm back. And I'm so happy to be able to speak to you guys. Actually, I'm blessed to be able to do this because I really enjoy talking to people. I counsel a number of people, and I have a good time in doing that. So I'm just going to give you some information that I have received that might be helpful to you. I listened to a quote this week that it really put something in me because I knew it, but when I heard it again, it kind of helped me to focus a bit more. So listen to this. This comes from John Maxwell through a friend by the name of Randy. And this person said this: "Your talk talks and your walk talks, but your walk talks louder than your talk." Now, what does that mean? Well, I know it's a little bit of a tongue twister, but it's really talking about keeping your promises and being a person of your word. I think we're living in a time in which people have a hard time being accountable to each other and have a hard time being accountable to the people around them. What does that lead to? That leads to people talking a lot. It's like in the school in which I work. If you saw me physically, you'd see that I'm a giant man. I'm actually about 5 feet 2 inches tall, so massive, of course. And I constantly challenge the students to basketball games. Now, some of them are much taller than I am, and inevitably, some of them will beat me, and I'll beat some of them because they may not be as coordinated as I am, but that's besides the point. The reality is that I'm talking trash. I'm getting at them. I'm telling them, oh, you can't do this, or you can't do that. You're not going to beat me. Stop talking trash. And so they'll needle me, and I'll needle them, and we're really getting at each other. So we're just talking trash. The reality is, I will never play for the NBA, and they haven't even asked me, so that's not an issue. However, one thing that I have learned is that people listen to what you say, but they stop listening after they realize that what you're saying are simply words, which is obvious, but you're not going to fulfill your words. I think that's a sad situation and a place in which we should not function. First of all, we should not function like that in terms of just human dynamics, being around other individuals. But also, as a man of faith, I should be a man that keeps my word at all times, even to my own detriment, if that's what it means. In other words, if I said I'm going to do something, but now I'm tired, or now I'm sick, or now I don't want to do it, that's besides the point. I said I was going to do something, and I need to fulfill the word that I gave, because I will be judged by my words. I also think it's very important that if I present myself to a person in a particular way, that I constantly represent myself in that way and not be a liar in attitude, in speech, or even in appearance. That what you see is what you get. I read a few months ago of a man that married a woman, and he soon after wanted to get a divorce from her. So as I'm reading the article, I'm saying, well, so what's the situation here? Well, apparently when he married her, he only knew her when she had makeup on. And I saw the before and after picture. With makeup, this was an absolutely gorgeous woman. Without makeup, she wasn't that good looking. Now, that's not fair. He married her, he should have stuck it out. But the reality was that he felt fooled. And that was the grounds for him trying to put that divorce. That the person that he married was not the person that he had been engaged to or that represented herself to him. Now, that sounds kind of weird, but it also makes a lot of sense. If I'm going to be who I am, I always have to be who I am. I cannot represent something that I am not, and eventually it's going to come out. I remember a pastor that I knew very well who has since passed away, may he rest in peace, preaching a sermon in which he talked about a scorpion needing a ride across a river. And so he got on another animal. I don't remember if it was a frog or some other creature. He got on the animal's back, and the animal took him across, and he made it to the other side of the river. As soon as the scorpion made it safely across, it stung the other animal. And as the other animal was dying, the animal says, well, why did you do that? I helped you across. And the scorpion responded, well, that's what I do. How sad, and yet how true. Eventually, our true colors come out. We can lie by saying whatever words we want to say, by representing ourselves in a particular way, but in the heat of the moment, or when we are in trouble, what's real comes out. And we need to know that we're not just talking to talk, but that we're walking a walk that is good for other individuals, that is a blessing for other individuals, but that also represents us correctly. I don't see that people who live a life of lies are ever truly happy. I remember learning a long time ago that if you always say the truth, you never have to remember what you said. Why? Because even if you forgot, you know that you said the truth. So what I'm telling you today, in this part of my talk, is simply do what you say you're going to do. Keep your promises. Be a person of your word. There are more than enough people out there tweeting or twitting or whatever you call it, sending pictures of other people that are not them, doing all these weird things rather than representing who they are. You know what? You are you. Why not be yourself and stop trying to be somebody else? You are unique. There's nobody else like you. So walk the walk. Don't just talk the walk, and people are going to appreciate you just the way you are. I hope this has been a blessing to you. Hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate your feedback. Until next time, remember this: if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So make sure you're standing on solid ground.